Your 401k is not a college fund. If you touch it to pay for your kids' tuition, you are committing financial suicide. Right now, millions of parents over the age of 45 are making the biggest mistake of their lives. You are taking out predatory Parent Plus loans and draining your retirement accounts to buy a $200,000 piece of paper for your teenager. Wall Street and the university system have weaponized your love for your children to extract your wealth. But I need you to write this rule down and nail it to your refrigerator. You can borrow money to pay for college, but absolutely nobody's going to give you a loan to pay for your retirement. Today, I am going to show you the brutal math of the college trap and the exact sniper strategies to get your kids a world-class degree for pennies on the dollar without moving into their basement when you are 75. Welcome to the resistance. I want you to picture a 50-year-old father standing in his driveway. He is smiling ear to ear, proudly slapping a university bumper sticker on the back of his SUV. Let's call him our classic gray guy. Today is supposedly the greatest day of his life. His 18-year-old daughter just got accepted into a prestigious out-of-state private university. He is taking photos. He is bragging to his co-workers. He feels like he has successfully completed his mission as a parent. But this celebration is about to turn into a hostage situation. 2 weeks later, the financial aid letter arrives. The cost of attendance, including room, board, mandatory meal plans, and overpriced textbooks, is $60,000 a year. That is $240,000 for a 4-year bachelor's degree in sociology. Gray Guy doesn't have $240,000 in liquid cash. He has a mortgage, he has car payments, and he is already dangerously behind on his retirement savings. But what does society tell Gray Guy? Society tells him that a good parent provides. Society tells him that if he doesn't figure out a way to pay for this dream school, he is failing his child and ruining her future. This is what financial intelligence experts call an emotional heist. Higher education in the United States is no longer just a public good or an engine for social mobility. It has mutated into a highly financialized asset. It is a luxury brand disguised as a fundamental necessity. The system knows that parents have a biological and social imperative to give their kids the best opportunities. They know you would literally jump in front of a moving train to protect your offspring. So they weaponize that exact instinct. They instrumentalize your affection. They use your guilt against you, wrapping a catastrophic financial decision in a glossy brochure of smiling students sitting under beautiful oak trees. The admissions counselor doesn't care that Gray Guy is 50 years old and only has 15 years left to compound his retirement nest egg. The university sees Gray Guy not as a human being, not as a parent, but as a host organism to be drained. So driven by pure emotion and societal pressure, Gray Guy makes the fatal mistake. He logs into his 401k and withdraws a massive chunk of his life savings, paying brutal tax penalties in the process. He cannibalizes his own future to pay for a degree that, in today's macroeconomic climate, doesn't even guarantee his daughter a stable job. Gray Guy thinks he is being a hero. He thinks he is buying his daughter a golden ticket. But mathematically, he just signed a financial suicide pact. Look at me for a second. I am a two-dimensional vector animation with matte blue skin. I live in a pure white digital void. I don't age. I don't get sick. I literally do not have a physical cardiovascular system. I don't need a retirement portfolio because my animator just renders me frame by frame. But you live in the real physical world. You have a biological body that will eventually get tired. You cannot work 80-hour weeks when you are 70 years old. You need actual liquid cash to survive the final 3 decades of your life. Because moving into your kid's basement when you are 75 years old, completely broke, and eating generic cat food is not a legacy. It is a burden. Let's say Gray Guy watches this video. He wakes up, he puts the sledgehammer down. He decides not to smash his 401k piggy bank. Instead, he goes to the university's financial aid office and says, "I want to help my daughter, but I don't have the cash." The financial aid officer smiles, a warm, practiced, predatory smile. "Don't worry, Gray Guy. We have a special federal program just for heroes like you. It's called the Parent Plus Loan." Listen to me very carefully. The Parent Plus Loan is not financial aid. It is a weapon of mass financial destruction. If you walk into a traditional bank today and ask for a $200,000 business loan to open a restaurant, the bank will laugh you out of the building unless you provide a 50-page business plan, collateral, and 3 years of tax returns. But if you ask the federal government for a $200,000 Parent Plus loan so your 18-year-old can major in undecided arts, they don't even check if you can afford the monthly payments. They just ask where to sign. Why? Because regular student loans have strict borrowing limits to protect teenagers from completely destroying their lives. But Parent Plus loans? There is virtually no limit. The university can charge $60, $80, or $100,000 a year, and the federal government will happily lend you every single penny up to the cost of attendance. It is a blank check. The government writes the check, the university cashes it, and they staple the debt directly to your forehead. And the math is absolutely toxic. You are looking at interest rates hovering around 8 or 9%. Plus, and they always whisper this part, a massive origination fee of over 4%. That means before your kid even steps foot in a classroom, the government skims 4% right off the top just for the privilege of putting you in debt. But here is the most terrifying part of the Parent Plus trap. Fast forward 15 years. Gray Guy is 65. His daughter graduated, got a decent job, and moved on with her life. But Gray Guy still owes $150,000 on the loan because the high interest rate compounded like a virus. He is tired. He wants to retire. He applies for his Social Security benefits. And guess what happens? The federal government, the same entity that handed out the loan with a friendly smile, suddenly turns into the mafia. Parent Plus loans are virtually impossible to discharge in bankruptcy. If you can't pay, they don't care that you are old. They don't care that you are sick. They will legally garnish your wages. They will intercept your tax refunds. And yes, they will literally withhold a percentage of your Social Security checks every single month until you die. The government is acting as the knee-breaking debt collector for a luxury brand. They are confiscating your survival money to pay for a sociology degree from 2 decades ago. You thought you were giving your kid a head start, but you actually just chained yourself to the hull of a sinking ship. Your neighbors might clap and say, you are a great dad for taking on that burden, but mathematically, you are a financial hostage. Let's address the elephant in the room. I want to talk about the absolute biggest lie of the 21st century. It is a phrase that has destroyed more middle-class wealth than any stock market crash in history. Are you ready? Here it is. Follow your passion and the money will follow. Whoever invented that phrase should be investigated for fraud. Listen to me very carefully. You can follow your passion for free at the public library. You can follow your passion on YouTube. But if you are paying $200,000 for a piece of paper, you are not following your passion. You are making a massive, high-risk financial investment, and investments require a return on investment. ROI. Here, the math has to make sense. But we don't treat college like a mathematical investment anymore, or do we? We treat it like a luxury brand. We treat it like buying a Gucci bag or a Rolex. You are not paying for an education. You are paying for a 4-year, all-inclusive country club resort experience. Have you seen these campuses lately? They have massive lazy rivers. They have indoor rock climbing walls. They have gourmet sushi bars and athletic stadiums that rival professional sports teams. Who do you think is paying for the water in that lazy river? You are, Gray Guy. You are funding a luxury resort with your retirement money. Let me break the fourth wall here for a second. I am a cartoon. I am a 2-dimensional rendering made of pixels, generated by code. I do not have a college degree. I never went to an Ivy League school. I literally wear the exact same black turtleneck every single day of my life. But I am currently giving you better, more mathematically sound financial advice than the dean of a prestigious university who makes $2 million a year to oversee a $1 billion tax-free hedge fund. Because make no mistake, that is exactly what modern elite universities are. They are massive hedge funds with tax exemptions that occasionally teach a few classes to justify their existence. And what exactly is the product they are selling you? Let's look at the macroeconomic reality. 40 years ago, when you were growing up, a bachelor's degree made you part of an elite club. It was a golden ticket to the middle class. If you had the degree, you got the job. Period. But today, It is called degree inflation. When everyone has a bachelor's degree, nobody has a bachelor's degree. A BA is just the new high school diploma. We have millions of 22-year-olds walking across a stage, deeply in debt, holding degrees in fields that have absolutely zero market demand. They spent 4 years writing essays about abstract theory, and now they are competing for entry-level office jobs that pay $45,000 a year. Let's do the brutal math. If your kid graduates with $80,000 in student loans, that monthly payment is going to be roughly $800 a month. If their starting salary is $45,000 after taxes, rent, and groceries, they are mathematically underwater on day one. They are bankrupt before their career even begins. And who is going to bail them out? You. You are going to let them move back into your basement, and you are going to pay their car insurance because you feel guilty. You have to stop treating these institutions like they are sacred temples of knowledge. They are businesses. They are selling a product, and right now, for the vast majority of non-STEM degrees, that product is fundamentally defective. The ROI has completely collapsed. If you are going to be an engineer, a doctor, or an accountant, fine, the math works. But if you are going into six-figure debt for general studies or communications, you are just voluntarily donating your generational wealth to a hedge fund's endowment. So the system is a rigged casino. The ROI is collapsing. Does this mean your kids shouldn't get an education? Does it mean they are doomed to work at a drive-thru for the rest of their lives? Absolutely not. You are a sniper. And a sniper does not walk blindly through the front door of a trap. A sniper finds the back door. The back door to the American higher education system is the greatest financial cheat code of the 21st century. It is the community college hack, or as I like to call it, the 2+2 strategy. Here is the secret they don't print in the glossy brochures. The first 2 years of almost any bachelor's degree are exactly the same everywhere. It is general education. You are taking college algebra, basic English literature, and introductory history. You do not need a world-renowned tenured professor to teach you how to use a comma or solve for x. You just need the credits. If Gray Guy sends his daughter to the prestige university for her freshman and sophomore years, he is paying $60,000 a year. That is $120,000 for basic prerequisites. If the sniper sends his kid to the local community college, he pays maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a year. That is $10,000 total. You just saved $110,000. That is a decade of retirement living, saved in just 24 months. And here is the punchline that the elite universities desperately want to hide from you. When your kid transfers to the prestige university for their junior and senior years and graduates, the diploma does not have an asterisk on it. It doesn't say discounted degree. It doesn't say community college edition. It just has the name of the prestigious university. The employer doesn't know. The employer doesn't care. In fact, transferring from a community college is statistically easier. Top-tier universities have brutal acceptance rates for high school seniors, sometimes less than 5%. But their transfer acceptance rates? Often 3 or 4 times higher. You are literally bypassing the hardest filter while saving 6 figures. But I know what Gray Guy is thinking. Stewie, what about the college experience? What about the dorms, the football games, the prestige? I want the bumper sticker for my car. You have to decouple your parental ego from their college logo. A bumper sticker on your SUV is not worth eating generic cat food in your 70s. You are confusing a financial investment with an amusement park. If your kid wants a luxury resort experience, buy them a 2-week vacation in Cancun. It is infinitely cheaper than financing a lazy river with your 401k. And if you want to take this to the absolute boss level, you execute educational geo-arbitrage. We talked about this in our medical briefing. Why pay a premium for a defective product in the US? Did you know there are world-class universities in Germany, Norway, and Spain that teach full degree programs entirely in English? And the tuition is either completely free or costs less than a used Honda Civic. You can send your kid to Europe, give them an elite global experience, and still save $200,000. Protect your capital, optimize the path, buy the diploma at a discount. So we have the blueprint, we know the math, but now comes the hardest part of the entire operation. It is not the spreadsheets, It is the psychology. It is the moment you have to sit down across the kitchen table from your 18-year-old child and have the conversation. How do you look at your kid, the one you taught to walk, the one who just got an acceptance letter to their dream school, and tell them no? How do you crush their vision of floating in a lazy river for 4 years? Listen to me very carefully. You are not crushing their dreams. You are saving their life, and you are saving your own. Here is the exact script. You sit them down and you say, I love you. I want you to be incredibly successful, but society is lying to you. I am not going to let you start your adult life with $100,000 in toxic debt for a piece of paper. And I am not going to destroy my retirement and become a financial burden to you when I am 80 years old. We are not playing their game. We are hacking the system. Then you slide the community college plan across the table. You show them the math. You show them the Educational Geo-Arbitrage plan. They might cry. They might throw a teenage tantrum. They might say you are ruining their life because their best friend Tyler is going to the expensive party school. Let them be mad. Let me break the fourth wall one more time. I am a cartoon character. I literally do not have a reproductive system. I cannot have children. But if I did, I would rather my kid be mad at me at 18 than be bankrupt and living in my basement at 22. You are their parent. You are their protector. You are not their personal ATM, and you are certainly not their loan officer. A good parent does not co-sign a financial suicide pact out of guilt. A good parent teaches their kid how to spot a scam. We have systematically dismantled the college trap today. We exposed the emotional heist. We revealed the terrifying reality of the Parent Plus mafia. We destroyed the follow your passion myth, and we gave you the 2+2 sniper hack. Now it is your turn to execute. If you are ready to decouple your ego from a university bumper sticker, I want you to join the resistance. Go down to the comments right now. Let's expose the higher education scam together. What was the absolute most useless, ridiculous class you ever paid for in college? Drop it in the comments. And if you are finally ready to have the conversation and protect your nest egg, type the words, I am the sniper below. Let the algorithms see that the parents are waking up. This channel gives you the blueprints, but a blueprint is just a piece of paper if you refuse to build the system. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next briefing. Stop playing the victim. Start playing the sniper. I'm Blue Stewie. Stay liquid. Stay dangerous. Class dismissed.